listen, okay? She wanted an assignment, so I gave her my essay. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Games Case. Today, and only today, we are here to talk about Nintendo Pictures, all right? Nintendo Productions, whatever's going on with Nintendo growing their animation fund by acquiring a new studio, and we're gonna get into all the little details, everything, my thoughts, what I'd like, and all that stuff. But of course, before we get into that, subscribe to your boy here. Make sure you like the video. Keep telling me what you want to see from this. You guys really loved that interview I did with Brian Shea about Sonic Frontiers, so maybe I'll ask more people who got to play Sonic Frontiers what they thought on it, or try to get more people to talk to. I don't know, guys. You let me know if you want to see more of that content, or if you had someone you'd want me to, like, you know, try to talk to. I could see what I could do, you know, like, just I'll find my way through this road. But guys, without further ado, let's get right into this. So let's go. First big topic of news here we gotta talk about. So Nintendo has acquired visual content, Dynamo Pictures. Look at this. Nintendo to acquire visual content production company Dynamo Pictures. All right, so Nintendo announced on Thursday that it has entered an agreement to acquire 100% of the outstanding shares of Tokyo-based visual production company Dynamo Pictures for 34 million, which is about 245,000 USD, which is cheaper than I thought it would be. You know, I think getting an animation studio would be like way more expensive, but I don't know the logistics of it all. You know, I don't know how heavily involved they are with what they do, but that doesn't seem crazy expensive for it. The company plans to close the acquisition by October 3rd. Nintendo plans to make it a wholly owned subsidiary to strengthen the planning and production structure of visual content using Nintendo intellectual property. Upon the acquisition closes, Dynamo Pictures will change its name to Nintendo Pictures. The company reports that the acquisition will only have minor effect on the results of the fiscal year. Wow. I gotta say, like, I did not see that coming. You know what I mean? I did not think Nintendo was gonna do a move like this, but it makes sense for a few reasons, right? Reason one, this decade is very different. You know, I talked about this a little bit on Twitter, but I was thinking about how, you know, recently sort of the superhero genre is getting, it's not like done, you know, it's still made, they're still printing money like crazy, right? But we're starting to enter that fatigue era. You know, we're starting to get to that time where it's no longer special, right? It's like, oh, we're getting another one. Oh, we're getting another one. Oh, this one's kind of ass. Oh, we've seen this before. You know, we're entering sort of that staleness of certain ones. There's a lot of them that could still pop off and go crazy, but because of that, right, we are starting to see the rise of video game production, whether it's in film, whether it's in animations or whatever. Like, you know, we've had the Castlevania show that's done super well. We've obviously, you know, as I've talked about here a million times, Sonic movie, that's been a new modern success. The Uncharted movie did like super well too. I think that made like 390 million like at the box office too. And actually, like, I know a lot of people that just had a good time with that movie. We know HBO is making The Last of Us show. We know PlayStation in general, they have their own movie studio going on. We have the Halo show, which I know wasn't necessarily the best, but I know a lot of people enjoyed that for most of it at the very least. So we're just starting to see this chain reaction. We're getting Sonic Prime, we got the Cuphead show. We're just like, we are in a good time for video game adaptations to the big screens and or small screens, depending on where you're watching. And I think that's going to have a massive impact on this decade of movies. I think we are finally at that point where there are younger directors or older directors that understand the gaming industry a bit more. You know, they've got familiar with it, you know, or they have people working on the team that know stuff about it. I just feel like we're entering that era, you know, where a lot of people that are getting, you know, hired to work on these movies understand the property and are able to at least do a good job of adapting. And I think that's going to be a big part of this. Now, obviously with Nintendo, we've known about this Mario movie forever, right? We've known about this Mario. I think the Mario movie was announced in like, I want to say 2018. I feel like 2018 was when we heard, you know, that Nintendo was working alongside Illumination Studio to make a Mario movie. We have yet to see the Mario movie. We've heard a lot about it. We know it's going to be a big deal. But Nintendo acquiring a whole animation studio is a big deal because it strengthens that idea that, yeah, like, this is no longer going to be just a gaming company. You know, we want to do the all-around circle. Nintendo finally, because it's funny, Nintendo for its whole life was basically just, here's games and merchandise, basically, you know. But now they want the Disney effect, you know, which is like, you know, games, merch, visual content, you know, what's it called, amusement parks, and it's all that cycle of one thing leads you to get the other, to get the other, to get the other. And I was actually looking at this, so let's go ahead really quickly here, look at some of the stuff they've worked on, because it's actually quite a lot. I was actually really surprised. So one of the most notable things people know from them is they made the Pikmin shorts. Now, for those of you that didn't see these were like these little fun Pikmin animations Nintendo released on their channel. I'm not sure. I think they were on 3DS as well. I remember watching these on my 3DS. But yeah, they worked on these Pikmin shorts that went up on Nintendo's channel back in the day. I think it was to promote Pikmin 3. And they're like really cute anime. Wow, okay. I really picked the worst shot to say this is a cute animation. What up, what up? Let's go. Like, what's the most replayed part? Let's see what's going on. So we got this going on. Pikmin are fighting for the naked. Oh, okay. Well, it's dead now. So yeah, but either way, they've worked on this, which a lot of fans have pointed out too, and they've worked on a shit ton of games, you know, and anime too. Like they've worked on Yuri on Ice. They've worked on let me see, what's something I recognize here that I would know. I mean, obviously Resident Evil. That's obviously a big one that they worked on. Mega Man, they've worked on in some way. They've worked on Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. You know, which one is this one? Is it is this the anime or the game? No, this is the game. This is the 3DS one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the 3DS one. Oh my god, it's been so long, bro. Give me a new Ace Attorney. Give me a new one. They worked on the Replicant. They worked on like a lot of stuff. They have a pretty solid catalog of anime and shows and productions they've worked on. So I have a good feeling about them being joined with Nintendo. And again, I think for the most part, it seems like this company is more of like a support animation studio, but I think it's gonna be a big deal now that they're a Nintendo production. Now, in terms of what I would want, right, there's a lot of things I would want, you know what I mean? First of all, right, first things first, I hope Nintendo sort of understands, right, which is something that like I think is really important, you know, to make styles appropriate to what they fit in that genre. Now, what I mean by that, right, is like, okay, like for something like The Legend of Zelda, you know, make that, you know, you can make that like anime, you know, you should make that more anime style, right? Whereas like, I don't know, something like Fire Emblem, you could sort of do it like the Fire Emblem cutscenes where it is CG, but they're like cell shaded and they almost look like they're anime like that, right? Or Splatoon, make Splatoon cartoon, you know. I hope they do that sort of thing where they adapt styles in many different ways. One of my favorite animations from Nintendo is the Kid Icarus shorts that were on the 3DS back in the day. It's a little low quality because they were literally on 3DS, but yeah, this is like one of my favorite things that I looked forward to during the Kid Icarus release era of stuff. It was this dope, if you guys have never watched this, go on YouTube and watch this. It was these dope Kid Icarus Uprising shorts that were just released. There's some of them I think that are like AI upscaled, someone's done it before, but god, bro, this anime looked gorgeous, and I want this to be a full thing. I would love if this became a full-on animation, and I would take something like that for so many of Nintendo's properties. I mean, Nintendo would be awesome with a bunch of anime, even Splatoon, right? Even if it wasn't like cartoon style, like Splatoon as an anime works so well, you know, the over-the-top expressions, you know, the battles and everything. It's almost shocking that they haven't done some sort of some sort of Splatoon animation yet. I mean, they had technically some through trailers and stuff, or they've had like CG looks at the trailers, the characters. But yeah, I would love something like that. Another one, obviously, and I mean, we've all talked about this before, obviously Smash Bros, right? That is the one, right? Like if I were to wish for not only a Nintendo production to look like this, but to have a story like this. Now, this will never happen. I feel like the Smash show or anime or whatever you would call it, right? Or movie is, I think, something, I feel like it's something we will live to see in some way, but I don't know if it's going to be in the way, you know, that we'd expect it. I assume it would probably be mostly first party, with some third party maybe sprinkled in there, but I think for the most part it would be like first party characters, which is good, you know what I mean? Keep it at its core and keep it hype in that way. And I hope Nintendo almost invests in a cinematic universe, because if any company is the OG, you know, with the, what's it called, an in-house cinematic universe for a video game, it's Smash Bros, right? I mean, that's as crazy as it gets in terms of a crossover between a company, obviously, aside stuff, you know, from Disney and MVC and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I would love anything that looked remotely like this. What's another animation? Oh yeah, the Star Fox animation. What up, Star? This was really cool too. It was a Star Fox Zero anime. It was like this cool anime that they did for Star Fox Zero when it was coming out, and it looks so good. It was, like I said, this sort of mix of, it was very clearly like CG, but like mixed with an anime, like an anime cell shaded style, and I really like that. And I think this is a big deal. Like I said, I think with Nintendo investing in this, it's a good thing to me, because I remember I would look forward to these things, but like nothing would ever come out of it. Or obviously we know the infamous story of the canceled Legend of Zelda Netflix show. You know, we still don't know the 100% truth behind it, but from what we understand is that like it was going to happen, but the show leaked so much and they had issues with the team that like it just never happened. So I hope that with Nintendo acquiring the studio and all that stuff, that we get more stuff like this. And one thing I hope they do, which is something that I've wanted, you know, from Marvel and all these companies that are doing all these, you know, shows or small stuff, is, hey man, like not everything has to be, hey, here's the 6 to 7 episode series. You know, make something a digital movie if it has to be, you know, make something theatrical if it has to be, you know, make something a 3-episode run if it has to be, you know, don't extend something just because it has to fit the norm of, you know, what to expect. You know, obviously if it's a banger, it's a banger, but try to keep things logistic to, you know, like what you would want from them, what you expect from them. But yeah, for me, I think the tops would be for sure like Kid Icarus anime. I would love that. Smash Bros animation, that would be sick. Something Splatoon. I feel like the world of Splatoon is like begging for some sort of animation. We already had the rumor for a while now that they're already working on a Donkey Kong movie, so that's gonna be good. So I feel like they're covering a lot of the bases that I'd want them to. I'm trying to think, what else do I got here? Like Luigi's Mansion. Oh my god, a Luigi's Mansion Halloween special would be amazing, or something Animal Crossing would be super cool, just to highlight the characters in that world. Xenoblade, come on now. It's like, bro, literally, like, you know how people make fun anime sword fighter? Give the anime sword fighter an anime sword fighting anime. Give me all that stuff. So guys, let me know what you all think of the studio that they're getting. What do you guys want from them? What's popping? Let me know what's going on and what you want the most. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.